Many of you are familiar with it. Then Jesus said, there was a man who had 2 sons. The younger of them said to his father, Father, give me the share of the property that will belong to me. So he divided his property between them. A few days later, the younger son gathered all that he had and traveled to a distant country. And there he squandered his property in dissolute living. When he had spent everything, a severe famine took place throughout the country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to be one of the citizens of that country, who sent him to the fields to feed the pigs. He would gladly have filled himself with the pods that the pigs were eating. No one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, how many of my father's hired hands have had bread enough to spare, and here I am dying of hunger? I'll get up and I'll go to my father. I'll say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me like one of your hired hands. So he set off and he went to his father. But while he was still off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. And he ran and he put his arms around him and he kissed him. Then the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his slaves, quick, bring out a robe, the best one. Put it on him. Put rings on his fingers and sandals on his feet. And get the fatted calf and kill it. And let us eat and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to celebrate. Now his elder son was in the field, and when he came and approached the house, he heard the music and the dancing. He called one of the slaves and he asked what was going on. He replied, your brother has come, and your father's killed the fatted calf, because he got him back safe and sound. And he became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and began to plead with him. But he answered his father, listen, for all these years I've been working like a slave for you, and I've never disobeyed your command. Yet you've never given me even a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. And then this son of yours comes back, and he's devoured your property with prostitutes, and you killed a fatted calf for him. And the father said to him, Son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we have to celebrate and rejoice. This brother of yours was dead, and has come to life. He was lost, and he's been found. It's the word of God for the people of God.
Thanks be to God.
This is my first Sunday at Otterbein. Brand spanking new. So what I wanted to tell them why I wore these fancy shoes is I went and they point out to them that I went all over Otterbein Church looking for a pair of shoes left there by Dr. Spohr, but there was none. So I can't fill his shoes. I have to wear mine. Much the same way, I'm not expecting Otterbein to fit the mold of Albright, or Albright to try to fit into a mold of Otterbein. We're our own, with our own gifts, and our own way of doing things. We can work together, we can celebrate together, and we can work for the kingdom of God together. But Otterbein has its things. We have our things. And we'll share when we can. But we're not here to fit anybody else's shoes, or fill anyone else's shoes. We're to do what God gifts us to do. So, we started talking about how this story of the prodigal son could fit us all in ministry. So guess what? Since we're not fitting in each other's shoes, you're going to get a little bit different sermon than what they got. But we're going to base it all on the same text. And we're going to work with this story of not the prodigal son. Let's stop that right now. Because the son is not the hero of this story. He's not a hero. He goes to his father and he says to his father, "Give me my inheritance now. You're going to divvy up the property after you're dead anyway, so you might as well give it to me now." So the father, "All right, here's your ship." And in a short while, he had it all packed up and loaded and gone. "I'm out of here. I'm not going to be some farm boy. I got things I got to do." And off he goes. So there's no hero in this. While he's gone, he takes all that he had gotten from his father, that his father worked his entire life for to build up, and gives it to him. And yet the son squanders it away. All that work Dad put in, squanders it away. In a very short while, it says, it was gone. And then a famine hits, hard times hit. And he is reduced to starving. And he has to hire himself out. And they give him a job slopping pigs. Now, I slopped pigs when I was a kid. Get some water and some chop and put it in a bucket, stir it all up and pour it into the trough, and then the pigs would squeal and suck that water down till it got down to the chop, and they'd make that chomping sound while they was eating. Here's this man standing there. And I can tell you, I never once looked down into the pig trough thinking I want to eat with it. This is where he was reduced. I can eat these pods at the pig's meat. I'm so hungry. But then this wonderful thing happens. It says, he came to himself. He had to hit that point that he woke up and realized his situation, where he was at. He came to the point and said, "You know, I left the place where I was loved, where even the hired servants have something to eat. They have plenty to eat. I will go back. I'll go back to my father, and I will tell him that I've sinned against you and I've sinned against God, and if you take me back, you can bring me back as a hired servant, not as a son, because I don't deserve to be called a son." He also note that he doesn't even say he deserved to be called a slave. Because believe it or not, in the rankings, a slave would have been treated as a part of the family. You took care of your slaves. Your slaves were taken care of. When you had a slave working for you, you treated them like a part of the family. You made sure they was fed. You made sure they had good quarters. You made sure that you took care of them no matter if they did great or if they did poorly. You took care of them. They were part of the family. But a hired servant, you could fire him. He was contract. Hired servant didn't do what you wanted him to do, you hit the bricks. That's how this guy wanted to come back. Just looking through the door. Yeah. Now the hero of the story is, and what this parable should be called, is the parable of a loving father. See, after the son left, even though it broke his heart, he continued every day to search the skyline to see if his son had come. To look for any hint that somebody might be coming towards the house. Could it be him? And then one day, there was a speck in the distance. You could tell by the way he moved, by his gait. That's my boy. That's my boy. They dropped everything and took off. You could picture him. He had his robe picked up, and he was high-stepping, getting over there, trying to get a hold of his boy. Didn't care how he looked. Didn't care how silly he was. He wanted to be there and grab a hold of his son and throw his arms around him. He started yelling at the slaves, "Get the robe, my best one! Get rings, we'll put on his fingers, and sandals for his feet." See, in the household, the family wore footwear. The slaves usually walked around in bare feet, and the hired servants. But this boy was going to get sandals on his feet. There's a great old spiritual out there that says, all God's children got shoes. I got shoes, you got shoes, all God's children got shoes. The reason that is because when you had shoes on your feet, when you got shoes, that meant you were free. It meant freedom. This young man was being released of his bondage of all and welcomed back into the home, back into the family, because of the Father's grace. He'd sinned against God, he'd sinned against his Father, he'd sinned against him, but the Father instead says, "I don't care, come back." However, that's not all the players in the story. There's one more. There's a brother who had been working out in the fields. He was coming over the hill, and he heard music, heard laughter and singing. What's going on? Your brother's back. My brother left me here to work all by myself. Took his share, took off. Now he comes back and he gets a party. Starts brooding over that. Couldn't stand the thought of that. He sits out on the hillside and he bemoans it. Won't even come near the house. The father, well, what's the father do? Just like he ran off to his son who was coming over there, he's running off to the boy instead. He says, "Come on. Your brother's back." No. This son of yours, notice how he says it. He doesn't say my brother. He tells the father, "This son of yours has taken all your stuff and he has squandered it away with prostitutes." That's the first that's mentioned, by the way. That's the first that prostitute stuff is mentioned. That says something about what's going on in the brother's mind more than it was with the brother's door, the other brother's door. Squandered away with prostitutes. And you're out here killing the fatted calf. I have worked, I've slaved for you, and you know what? You didn't even give me a goat that I could have a little party with my buddies. But here we're having a big celebration for the one who wandered away and comes back. And the father looks at his son and said, "Yep, that's exactly what it is. Because your brother was lost, he was now been found. He was dead, and he's alive." Too often in our lives, we allow our relationships to become divided, broken, over some squabble. Sometimes they are serious. Sometimes they are big. But sometimes they're not. And time is needed to heal. But I think what this parable is saying to us is that we have to find within ourselves a desire to be healed. For relationships to be mended. Not all of us are going to be like the Father and run off and throw our arms around someone who's hurt us. But there has to come a point for us to get up off the hillside and come on down to the park. And to let reconciliation happen. I'm pretty sure that those two brothers may not have gotten along as the time went by. But maybe they were able to deal with each other, to help each other, and maybe forgive each other. Because that's needed in every relationship, in every family, and in every church. Maybe someone has wandered out of the church and just in need of somebody to run out and be that father figure and say, come on back. Come on. Maybe there's that family member who has hurt you, and you know if you just reach out with a little bit of love and a little bit of compassion, a bit of forgiveness, something wonderful can happen to you. But too often we get jammed up. Trying to walk over this. Before Bishop Bickerton left, he came to the Collinsville district and he gave this talk. He probably gave the same talk everywhere else, but I heard it all. And he said, Did you drive here tonight? If you drove here tonight, how big was your rear view mirror in your car? Aren't you glad your rear view mirror isn't as big as your windshield? Think about it. Your rear view mirror is only that big. It lets you know what's behind you. The windshield. That's where you're going. It needs to be bigger. It's okay to remember the past, but don't be concentrated on it so much that you miss what's ahead of you. Don't be so stuck in it that you can't move forward. We all need to remember that God's plan is the big thing in front of us, not what's behind us. And I want to leave you with the words of Abraham Lincoln. Coming 4th of July, it's a good time to remember Abraham. Abraham Lincoln was asked this: what are we going to do with all them rebel states when this war is over? And Lincoln said, we're going to treat them as if they never left. Praise God.